Contentious testimony in federal court about tactics outside the ICE facility in South Portland. Day 2 of the trial over President Trump's attempt to deploy the National Guard centered on police tactics with protesters on tense nights when tear gas filled the air. And we heard for the first time today from federal agents about their struggles with dealing with crowds. They expressed surprise that the National Guard was briefly deployed and concern that the current situation is not sustainable. Fox 12's Spencer Schott joins us now live outside the courthouse to break down more of the testimony. Spencer?
Yeah, Pete, today's testimony really started off where they left off yesterday. The plaintiffs in the case, the state of Oregon and the city of Portland, called back the witness who was the PPB Assistant Police Chief Craig Dobson. And they asked him a lot of questions about specifically October 18th, the day of the No Kings protest, where a lot of tear gas was used. Dobson testified that he was actually tear gassed while they were outside trying to help with crowd control for the protest. After that long stint of questioning, the judge in this case, Judge Immergut, actually asked the plaintiffs why they are spending so much time on these use of force allegations when the crux of the case is whether or not President Donald Trump has the legal authority to send the National Guard out to Portland. The legal team said that this is a part of their overall legal strategy, but they did move forward. And they said that was their last witness of the day. Then this afternoon, the defense was able to call their first witness to the trial. That was the Deputy Regional Director for the Federal Protective Services, Robert Cantu. He testified that they really had their first problems on June 14th when there was a large protest outside the ICE facility. There were instances where weights were thrown through the windows, chains were put on the doors, and he said his federal agents didn't feel safe. And that's where they really started to ramp up, calling in more federal agents from different areas to come to Portland and try to up the staffing. And since that June 14th protest, they've moved to a 24/7 security system where they're having federal agents on staff at all hours of the day to protect the building. And he said this is kind of the concern that they were bringing up. But when they got to the cross-examination section, that concern was kind of brought into question. We were told that President Trump administration did not consult him before they ordered sending the National Guard to the Portland ICE facility. And so when he heard about that order, he said, quote, "My first reaction was, what would I do with 200 guardsmen?" The state also pointed out that there have been multiple instances where there are many more federal agents inside the ICE facility than there are protesters outside. We'll hear more from this testimony and other federal agents as this trial continues into its third day tomorrow. But for now, reporting live in downtown Portland, Spencer Schott, Fox 12 Oregon.
All right, Spencer, thank you. As the hearing started this morning, we received more information about the potential violation of the temporary restraining order that came down on October 5th. The attorney for the federal government clarified that the National Guard troops were sent to the ICE facility at about 11:30 the day before the TRO was issued, but they do not know exactly what time they left. When Judge Immergut heard this, she said, quote, "The government deployed National Guard that very night, knowing that I said I would issue a decision as soon as I could over the weekend. Does that not seem to be in bad faith in some way?"